All right. Happy New Year. Welcome back, everybody. We are Inexperience Points. I'm your host, Savvy.
I'm Zach.
And I'm the Sorby, aka Barbentora.
What's up,
Yes,
everyone?
sir.
Yes, welcome
We are
back.
happy to be back in this new year,
Yeah, it's
alive.
exciting. A lot has changed.
2023.
Yeah,
New Year, same old crap.
amazing. It didn't feel special this year. I don't know about you guys, but I didn't do anything.
I watched a recording of um, our fireworks that Pierre sent me because, the church in our village decided to launch off fireworks for New Year's.
Hmm.
And we have a perfect view from our balcony of the church, but because I cannot get to the third floor, Pierre recorded it and then sent it to me from upstairs. So that was how I rang in my new year.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's nice of him.
So I heard everything and then I saw it like 5 minutes later.
That's so funny.
Absolutely.
It's just like a
Holy
dog. Like,
crap.
what's going on? Huh? What?
No,
And then
literally,
you get a message later like, um,
okay.
oh,
Hmm.
Oh my gosh, that actually reminds me. Um,
uh-oh.
so for our podcast listeners, we have jumped over to doing our podcast through Discord. We're recording from different parts of the world. I've moved to France, so surprise.
Yep.
Um, and with this move, I am discovering a lot of new things that are very normal to the French and not normal to someone from Northtown Las Vegas in the ghetto. And so on Wednesday, I'm in my own business, sitting in bed. Pierre's in his office upstairs, like doing his job. And I shit you not, you guys, I'm sitting there and I suddenly hear like sirens, not like car sirens, but like sirens that you hear like in the movies where it's like there's a bomb coming, like that one
Oh, like,
type deal.
yeah.
They start going off. And I'm just sitting there like with my coffee, like, what's going on? Like, oh my gosh, Ukraine, Russia, like, oh no, war, like legit bomb sirens. And like Pierre, like I hear him stomping downstairs and he's like, you're okay, you're okay. Apparently, to make sure that we are always prepared for war or like that the sirens are always working, once a month, my village will um, turn on the sirens as a test for 5 minutes. So I was just sitting there in like pure terror, like I don't even know where the bomb shelter is. Because Pierre forgot to warn me that this is a thing.
Wow, that's wild.
I recorded some of it and it was just so surreal. I was like, I feel like I'm in like Fallout or something. Like this is the end of the world.
That's crazy. And it happened so soon after you leave. Like, that's terrifying.
See,
It
something
is.
you've never experienced before, but like you've seen in movies and video games, and like it actually happens. You're like, wait a minute, I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
a little bit
seriously.
of fear.
I was like, I may never see anyone I care for again. Like people are gonna be like having to help me be a refugee. I don't know, you know. And Pierre was like, no, you're fine. It's okay. Like this happens once a month. And you didn't think to tell me?
Dang. Yeah, you think like he'd like make a list for you of like things to expect when you move here. And
Yeah.
that would be like on top of the list. But I guess if it's normal to him, probably doesn't
Yeah,
register.
It just slipped his mind.
Well, that's one thing that always like, especially learning about other places overseas, like
Mhm.
the places are so much smaller. Like there's entire countries that are as big as like half of a state in the United States.
Oh yeah, I
You
think like
can,
Vegas and are like the same size.
yeah, yeah, it's like insane the size comparison between them. Like, then you talk about going from one side of the country to the next of the U.S., like East
I
Coast
meant
to West
Nevada. I'm
Coast.
so sorry.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
you were picking up what I was putting down. To clarify, Nevada and France. Sorry.
yeah, yeah, which is insane. It's crazy. Like you could go drive through all of France in the time in like 3 hours, and when it takes you, what is it to like drive from the east to west coast? Like If you do it
Like
straight
28
without
hours.
stopping, yeah, like 28 hours. Insane.
Wild.
Wait. Wait. So 3 hours and something
Mm-hmm.
from one part, like one end of France to the other.
Oh no, actually I have a better gauge now because we went out of town.
Mm.
We drove 7 hours from one part of France to the other tip of France.
That's
So
insane.
I know, and it's like
Oh,
if I drive 7 hours through Nevada to get to Idaho, I'm still not in Idaho.
Well, yeah, it's like from Las Vegas to Salt Lake City is like 7 hours and 45 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah.
so weird.
And those states are next to each other.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
yes. That's crazy. That's so insane.
It is.
That's just fun to learn though. Like I love learning that stuff. It makes me appreciative of how big the US is and also, kind of apathetic. I just don't really care.
Like, look at all this space we don't need.
Yeah, we don't use most of it's like national parks, which is great. It's good for us.
Zach
you
is like,
know.
who needs those?
Don't put me on that list. Yeah, definitely we need national parks. Let's not get rid of those.
Absolutely. But then when you have places like Nebraska where it's like 50 miles of nothing.
That's true. Yeah. It's all farmland or all
Not even like it could just be desert. I mean, like that's Nevada as well. Like there's just a huge chunk of us that's just a desert.
That's true. But how much can you actually do out here? Like Vegas is different because it's so industrialized and we literally have like man-made like ecosystems out here.
Yes.
But like in the middle of the desert, like to do that from scratch is just an absorbent amount of money. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Vegas only worked out because it was initially an oasis.
yeah, it was like a stopping point for travel.
Yeah.
And then it got bigger and now it is what it is. But
That's right.
yeah.
That's interesting. Holy crap. I totally forgot. Doesn't
Yeah.
Las Vegas mean like the meadows or something?
Yeah, it does.
Does it?
Okay.
The
Hmm.
Huh.
meadows?
Yeah, it's Spanish for the meadows. Which I'm like, in what? Like where?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, long as I've been here, I've just seen dirt.
We have a real
I know.
Iceland, Greenland situation.
Seriously, like I can identify different shades of brown because of living in Vegas. Like that's a tan
Hmm.
brown. That's a red brown.
That's
That
true.
is a rock.
It all is combined into not really mattering,
Yeah.
A big ugly blob. I'll never not think this place is ugly as all
It's so
hell.
funny because everyone I talk to, like out here, when I'm like, oh yeah, Las Vegas or whatever, like and I'll tell them like what I'm near, and they're like, oh, the Grand Canyon, isn't it magnificent? And I'm like, no, it's a rock in the ground.
I'm sure the I've never been to the Grand Canyon. That's also in Arizona.
Yeah, but like I'll explain
It's
where
pretty
it's like where
close.
we're near. Yeah,
Yeah. I think it's only like
It's
2 hours
cool.
out, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
something like that.
It's cool, but I mean, it's not like anything to write home about. Like you
Right.
Yeah.
see it and you look at it and like it's when you really think about how everything is and what happened. It's like, oh, sweet, okay. And then you take pictures and you're like, oh.
I'm never gonna go
I
back and look at
no, absolutely not. But I feel like as a Vegas kid, I am not impressed by anything.
Yeah.
And it's just like we have a cheap copy of everything, like all the wonders of the world. Like literally, like we have Egypt as a hotel, like you know.
That's true. Yeah. We have
And
the
so
Sphinx or whatever, right?
Mm.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So like
Wait, that's still up?
Is
is
it?
it? Yeah.
I don't know. I never go down there, like ever.
No, yeah. I mean, I'm like, we have cheap copies that we can go look at. I refuse to go on the strip still, but I was talking to Pierre's family. And this is like the struggle of being from Vegas because we're always entertained and nothing impresses me.
Yeah.
So I was talking to a family member of his, and they're like, "Oh, what have you seen? Like, have you been to the Eiffel Tower yet? Like, isn't it magnificent?" And because I just say what's on my brain, my response was, "No, we have one in Vegas, and I'm not easily impressed by things." Because, that's appropriate.
Oh,
Oh,
you just moved here? Move back.
yeah.
No, they're gonna
Have you
like,
seen the greatest thing that our country has to offer? No, we have a cheap plastic one in Vegas. I've seen it
I've
already.
been to the top of the Eiffel Tower in Vegas. It's nothing to write home about.
Uh, that's so
Yep.
funny. That has got to sound really offensive to someone who lives in France.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
so we have the stratosphere.
Yes.
Seattle has the Space Needle.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. I don't know why I got those two. I've been here my entire life. I don't know how I got those two mixed up, but I've never been to the top of the
The stratosphere.
stratosphere.
I
Have you
feel
guys?
like I have. I feel like I have, but I don't actually have a memory.
Yeah. I
Maybe I have.
refuse. I will never go up there.
You are not a heights person.
No, I am not. I
Uh,
hate heights. I think about anything to do with heights. The worst thing I've ever done was I had to go up to an elevator, like the 25th floor of one of those elevators on the outside of the hotel. That's like it's like on the outside, so it's glass that looks
Oh,
out
so
into the
you're just watching
city.
the world.
Yeah, so I'm just watching I had to like look away from it and not look at it at all,
I would have puked.
and then just walk in the door and then back out, not turn my body at all.
she's like, what's that? Oh God.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, actually, I rode the link on like my last one of my last days in Vegas. I got to ride on
Oh,
the link.
yeah.
I was impressed at how high we were in the air, and I remembered a little too late that I was afraid of heights.
I wish I
that's
could do that. Just casually forget that I'm afraid of heights.
Well,
you
because
think
I
about
was
that
so
on the roller coaster too, because you're like, oh snap! You look
Uh,
down, you're like, wait a minute, I don't
oh,
like
oh,
this.
oh
I
How am I gonna
don't
get
no.
like
down if we
these
need to
things.
stop?
I've been on many roller coasters because my sister loves them. And the amount of times we've made it to the top of like the thing, and I've thought of jumping out before we like go off, like has crossed my mind so many like times.
The
Jeez.
stairs that they have, they're like, wait a
Yeah,
minute, you don't have better railing, like another way of getting down. Like at this point, I'd just rather jump. Like there's
yeah.
no way that I'm gonna prolong me getting down by walking down these small stairs that look like also curve with the tracks as you go down. I'm like, wait a minute, this is.
Oh, well, I
No,
can't.
Once you
Oh,
go
no.
down that big slope, it's like, oh yeah, yeah.
I might have told you guys this story, but like one of them, the one time me and Melissa got into a fight at Disneyland, and it's because I don't do rides. I don't like anything that has any sudden movements or drops or whatever. So she convinces me to get on like all the kiddie rides and stuff, and then she's like, "Let's go on Pirates of the Caribbean.
oh no.
It'll be fun. There's nothing scary about it." And I'm like, "Whatever. It's just a water ride. I'll just do it." And we get on, and then like as we're going, she goes, "Oh yeah, there's a drop." I turned to her, I said, "What the fuck did you just say to me? There's a drop?" Like, it's obviously just like a 4 foot drop, but like when you're riding it, it's pitch black. Like you dive into a pitch black hole,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I was just freaking out at her. I was like, "Dude, there's no way." I said, "Oh, we're leaving after this. We're gone. I'm done. I cannot be here anymore." And she was like, "You're being
Oh,
really over dramatic." I was like, "No, no, I'm done. Don't
she's
ever."
gaslighting
How
you. She's
dare
like,
you?
by the
How
way.
dare
Forgot that there was a drop in it. I was like, dude.
this wasn't Space Mountain. It's dark in Space Mountain.
I
It
have
has
been on
like
Space Mountain before when I was a kid. That's one of the reasons I won't go. I think it's honestly my dad's fault. My dad would like do that thing where he was like, we'd go and I didn't want to get on anything, so I'd be like, no, 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 I'm not writing anything. And he'd be like, okay, fine, just wait in line with us. That way you spend time with the family. And then he'd get on first to then not move and
Not
force me to get on in the seat next to him.
evil.
Yeah, literally, he did that probably like 2 or 3 times, and
Oh,
I
wow.
hated it every single
Trust
time.
issues.
I
I
never.
would never listen to my parents again. I mean, I don't in the first place, but I would double down on that.
Yeah, I mean, I never had rules growing up, so I never had to listen to them anyway. But yeah, that was not fun.
That is
Oh my
insane.
gosh.
I
That
rode.
sucks, but also
Oh,
funny.
go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
Yeah, hilarious.
that's actually a pro dad move right there. Like that's like thing I'd read on Reddit and be like, haha, that's great.
I probably do that once.
I could see you
For
doing
sure.
that, Mikey.
I could see
I
it work. It like if you do it once and your kid's like, "Wow, that was a lot of fun. I love that. I didn't expect to like it, but I liked it." Like that's one thing. But when I'm bawling my eyes out, like scared to death, like
Actual
freaking out,
health
and he's like,
crisis.
"Shut up! It was fun." Like,
Were you guys on the youth trip too? It's a trigger think of memory, but were you guys on the trip where we went to Six Flags and Lawrence passed out on the ride?
I definitely was not there. I can tell you that
Okay.
much.
Oh yeah.
I remember
Yeah.
like waiting in line for like to get on the ride. So his group got on before mine, and I was like waiting in line with my group. And I remember seeing Lawrence like pass by, like us, because we're like looking for our friends, pass by. And this Lawrence is a like Puerto Rican Hawaiian. That man was white when he passed by us because he was so sick on that ride. Like he lost all color. He had to get like I remember seeing him like get off the ride and like just basically like almost collapse over. They had to give him a wheelchair.
Oh my
It was like,
god.
was it the Tatsu or like the D2? What was it? It's the one that blows fire as you go by on it. Like you're in the harness
Oh,
and like
X2.
going.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
X2.
X2.
Yeah.
That sounds horrible.
Yeah.
Was I didn't
He
even
was
want to
like
be on the
it
ride.
was hot too.
Oh, yeah.
Like he was like
Uh,
also dehydrated, and that waiting for that, doing that, bro, I probably would have passed out too. And he also said that as they were like rolling him out because he left a little bit earlier than the rest of us, and so
Yeah,
as
yeah.
they were rolling him out, he just throws up everywhere.
Like a gunner. And pushing him and
Get
he's
your
just
way on the
like
pipe.
oh my
Projectile
god.
vomit.
go, 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 go.
Like they don't like help him, they just like turned,
Dang.
but it was like the entryway of the
Brain
park.
vomit.
That's so bad.
Wow. Yeah, it was hot that day too.
I remember, but we all of us children had water.
I mean, that's good. It's probably a liability if you go on a designated youth group trip and the kids are like, "Oh yeah, I passed out because I wasn't drinking water the entire time."
That
Better
would
you
be
than them.
a
Yeah,
problem.
exactly. But
Oh yeah.
Good times though. Good times.
dang.
Yeah. I'm not a roller coaster fan. I just get duped into getting on roller coasters.
Yeah.
I
And
actually
so
love roller coasters.
I don't like the feeling of my stomach in my throat.
Yeah. I hate that feeling too. I get that. I think I've told you guys this too before, but I get that feeling playing video games. Like, it doesn't even matter if it's Minecraft. Like, if I jump off of a mountain in Minecraft into like a pool of water below and I'm like, I'm gonna live, I get that sinking feeling where I'm like,
You're like,
"Ah!"
yeah.
Or
I
like,
cannot. I can't
yeah,
do
it's
VR because of that.
bad. It's so bad. It's like it's so, and it's like I'm playing Minecraft. Like one of the like that's the last game that I remember really happening. I think in games where like I have control
It's a
over
pixel
my
game.
falling. Well, it's like it's because it's different. Like I'll play Spider-Man and I'll dive through like in between buildings, just dive and like sling a web at the last second. Like I have control over my momentum and the falling, but when I jump off of something and it's just you have no recovery, there's no flying mechanic, you just are gonna hit the ground. I get that sinking feeling.
Get
Yeah.
that.
Can't do
I
it.
remember when I
Especially if
played
you're not trying to.
Yeah.
yeah, no, oh gosh, what game is it? Assassin's Creed. And
Mm,
it's the one where it's in the American Revolution. That was my first Assassin's game.
that's a
And
good one.
I remember jumping off of a building for the first time and feeling that way. And I was like, I don't like this. I finished the game.
Yeah.
I finished the game though.
That was a good one. Assassin's Creed 3 with Connor.
Mhm.
Okay, it was
Oh
great.
yeah.
It was
Yeah,
great.
with the Native American. Because 4 was
Yeah.
Black Flag. It was the pirate one. 2
Yeah.
was
It was
Ezio.
Ezio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ezio, and the first one was Altair. I know way too much about that franchise, and I hate that franchise. I gotta do a.
Are you like one of those people who's like knows Italy so well because they played the game and you could navigate?
Oh, if we want to dive into the Assassin's Creed topic, we can do it right now.
Mm.
I've
How was
played.
the order?
How is what?
The order, because it was
It was
Assassin's Creed 1.
yeah, it's
It was
Assassin's Creed 1.
2 Brotherhood.
I don't know about. So I've played 1, 2. I've played 3. I've played. Yeah, I've played 4. 4 is when I stopped playing though, because then they brought out. Then they did like Syndicate, I think,
Mm.
and
Yeah.
like Assassin's Creed Rogue, and they did like
Did,
other spin-off
wa-
ones.
wasn't there one with like Vikings, or am I
So
confusing the
that's the
games?
newest one. The
Oh,
newest
okay.
one is Valhalla, which I have played as well because it came to the PlayStation Plus subscription for free. So I
Ooh.
played that, and I was not impressed with that game. That game in the slightest. I made some joke tweet, and then the Ubisoft like support team got back to me, and they were like, "Hey, what's your sorry you're having problems with the game? Did you try this?" And I was like, I'm not about to be rude to a support rep.
He's doing his best.
I just try to shit talk the game, dude. But no, I loved those
It-
games. I loved those games a lot. The storyline was great when they had Desmond as the main
oh yeah.
character outside of the Animus reality, like him playing through
Mhm.
Altair's storyline and then utilizing like the skills that he learned to escape the facility, this like the science facility,
Yeah, yeah.
was super cool. And then the second game, he like learned more skills from Ezio, and then the same thing with Connor. But like all of it led up to this like I don't know if you guys have played the games or you remember them, but there's like these artifacts that have to deal with like creation and stuff,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and essentially like the Apple of Eden, and I forget what the staff was called. But like the third game ends with him like Desmond sacrificing his life to like essentially save humanity.
Oh yeah, because that like goddess thing.
Yeah, it's all like kind of confusing, and you're like, oh, okay, well they like it's weird that they killed the main character off, and maybe they'll continue it, and then that stuff all just took a major backseat, and it's never talked about ever again, and they just want to make these cool games that like there's this no more cohesive story outside of it besides like
Yeah.
that science place is still a thing, and they're still trying to hunt down like the artifacts, but like it's all just like
Mm.
it's way in the back. They took the most interesting part of the games and like made them non-existent, which kind of sucks.
Interesting.
But
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Yeah, I remember getting to that ending in 3 and
Mhm.
not knowing anything about
About what was
Assassin's Creed
happening.
prior to that. I was like, I'm like, what? Like the world is over?
Yeah. It would have
No
been
clue
cool
what's
for
going
there to
on.
be this whole like storyline where Desmond rises up against like the whole Templar society and like made the like they could have done this cool futuristic like Assassin's Creed game, and we'll just never get that.
Mhm.
It's never gonna
No.
happen.
Why
Yeah.
would they do that?
Yeah.
Even in Valhalla, they try to like do the same thing. They're like, you're playing it as a character in the Animus, but as far as I played, there's never like a storyline outside of it. They just like do this weird glitch thing, and they're like, "Oh, hey, your storyline is glitching. Let me go ahead and fix it for you." And then you hear them go, and then like they're like, "Okay, make this choice," and then you make a choice that like adjusts how like the Animus responds to. It's weird.
Boo.
Yeah, it's all lame. It's all really lame.
Boo.
Pop out.
Trash.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's probably someone
Salt
out there who's
water.
played all the games and loves every single one of them, and they're gonna come at me for whatever, but
They're
I
gonna
can't
like
buy
tell
it.
you if
Sucks.
they're gonna tell you like this is lore like Kingdom Hearts, where it's like, well, if you actually played it this way, you would know that
Yeah, it's because you didn't play Syndicate and do the secret ending with the one character and go here and talk
Yeah.
to this NPC. Like
You actually needed to platinum the game to get the secret movie.
exactly, God, and that's a
He may be one of our listeners, but you guys remember Chewy, right?
yeah.
Oh yeah.
How do you
Yeah,
forget?
I think he's one of those people. Like,
Oh man.
he's one
Man.
of those. He loves. Shout out to you, Chewy. He loves Assassin's Creed,
Yeah,
and
which is
he
fine if
makes
you
me
love the
enjoy
game. That's cool.
I
I have a
thoroughly
lot
enjoyed
of
my
it.
experience.
Plot holes like crazy, and the story
yeah.
isn't. It's not
It
great.
was good. It got worse though. Got worse.
Yeah, yeah.
I have a lot of very hot takes when it comes to gaming stuff, and we'll eventually have to do a whole hot takes thing because I keep a list of them in my head
Ooh,
ongoing.
I would love to
let's
do
do
like
it.
a speed reading of hot takes from you, but
Yeah,
we'll have to do that. Like,
I'll start writing them down.
yes. That's crazy. So in great news, do you guys remember that anime movie I told you about? The one where the girl falls in love with the
The
chair?
chair, yes.
So opening weekend came,
Did it?
and yeah, and as of January 4th, 2023, the movie's called Suzume. They grossed 11.3 billion yen, which is $85.6 million. And it debuted at number 1 at the Japanese box office
Wow,
in the first 3 days.
that's crazy.
Yeah, dude.
What?
Listen, I'm glad
I'm
it did
gonna
well.
watch it.
Yeah, I want to watch it. I want to watch a lot of things. I'm behind a lot right now. I've
Yeah.
been this is a side topic, but I've been getting into a lot of games that I've been playing. I used to play like I'm having fun right now playing Call of Duty and World of Warcraft. And that has not been the case for like 10 years, I feel like, or
That's
more.
crazy.
That's a
It's like
two
2013 all over
different
again.
like.
Yeah. And I'm having a blast playing both of those games. But while I'm playing World of Warcraft, I've been watching One Piece and I'm trying to catch up. I'm very early on. I'm like episode 33 or something like that.
Oh man,
Very, very beginning of the show. But I am trying to catch up
that
on
show's gonna
that.
outlive us.
It probably will. I mean, aren't they going into their last arc though?
Yes, but not how you think they're gonna wrap up in the next few
It's gonna
episodes.
be like a years until it's over. But
So Oda, it was like 6 months ago, he came out in an interview and
mhm.
he was like, okay, so I'm done world building and I have everyone on the pirate crew that I need to tell the story. And now we're gonna get into the story.
Yeah. And they're at episode like 1000 something, like
I think it's like
200.
146 or something,
Oh,
like
is it
1000.
146?
Yeah.
Good God, that's a lot of world
Yeah.
building.
He's like, now the crew's together. Let's go ahead and find the One Piece.
He said, we got the boat. The people are here.
Yeah, finally. And it's all like every episode that I've started is the same, and I don't know if it's the same intro or if they do the anime thing where they every some odd seasons like they change the intro, but they're all about treasure, pirates, the One Piece,
Yeah,
Captain
right.
whatever hit all his treasure, and like that's still like the seemingly the focus of the show, but I don't think it's gonna be for very long. Apparently
It
too, there was a kid who like unfortunately like had cancer, and his make-a-wish was to like learn the ending of One Piece because that's all he wanted to know, and Oda went there and like told him the ending and stuff.
Oh,
I think, you know what? I'm gonna say something
man.
that's really mean. I don't think it's fair that these Make-A-Wish kids get to have these moments. Like you're gonna like, oh man, that's really bad. It's not like
Let's say something that might be a little controversial.
I mean,
Those kids.
I'm just saying, like, what are you gonna
No,
do with that? Like,
I can see where you're coming from. I
I
Okay.
regret
I
saying it
don't
over the
agree.
worst.
But I understand the point you're trying to make. You're trying to make a lighthearted, more of a lighthearted point than
No, I'm not. Like, full stop. I'm being an asshole right now. And this is my logic. And this is terrible. And someone's gonna use this against me in 10 years. my logic here is like, so if you have like, if you're at the end of your life, right?
Hmm.
And you're like, the one thing that would make me feel better at the end of my life is if I got to like watch the Deadpool movie like that one kid did, or like if I got to find out the ending of said things like, so when they get that, do they just spend like their final days unhappy knowing that like are they happy? Are they like, I am not fulfilled? Like, you know?
Well, I have never been a dying kid with cancer, so I have no idea
I
the
just
mental state of them, but I would guess it's probably pretty bad regardless of what they get.
I mean, it's a kid dying. So terrible. I need to stop. I shouldn't double down on this. I just don't know.
I tried to
I
throw you a
don't
lifeline. I really did. I tried to save you.
know. You did. And
Bro.
I'm
Damn.
terrible.
Uh,
I mean, let me
No,
put
I'm
it out there.
going for this.
I would
Take
not
his
want any
blood.
more children to die of cancer at all or have childhood illness. Like, that is terrible. But I'm just saying, like, this is terrible. Like, I don't even need people to agree with me. Like, please don't. It just
no, that's okay.
don't. Like, it's so sad.
Yeah,
What do they do after they get their wish?
it's very sad.
Well,
It's
that
a very
sucks though.
bad
You think
situation.
about it. Like, if they don't like the way that something ends and they're just like, now I gotta die disappointed.
That's what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, exactly. I could see that
I-
being the case and being like, dude,
You know?
Oda, that's a shit ending, bro.
like-
Really?
He pulls some.
I don't want to live in a world like this. Like,
You're gonna,
oh no.
you're gonna do him like that?
Oh man, that's dark humor right there.
Ooh,
Anyways,
man.
Ooh. Wow.
Speaking of movies,
Wow.
though, speaking of movies, Avatar 2 came out.
oh,
The
it
Way of
did.
Water, and
Who
apparently
saw that?
it didn't. I have not seen it. I have watched
neither.
I've watched a whole breakdown video of the entire movie, but I am not. I'm not paying money to see that. Sorry, James Cameron.
Apparently,
You could not
apparently
pay
people
me
have
to go see it in
the
theaters.
movie. Don't remember watching the movie. I refuse.
He's already. So the thing is, he's already signed on for like 6 total movies, including the
he
2
wants it
that we
like
have.
he wants it like Lucasfilm, like that universe. Like he wants his own universe.
Which is fine. He's going to I mean he's gonna get it like one way or another. Like it's pretty much already given to him. Like he signed contracts. They did not
Yeah.
make that much money in the box office. There's no way.
Was it $1 billion?
It says 1.5 billion. But that doesn't sound right.
Is that opening weekend?
Movie ever.
No, opening weekend it just says box office, so I don't know if that's overall. What were you saying, Mikey?
Yeah, he's the only director that has 3 box office movies in the billions,
That's
Yeah.
true.
which is wild because, I mean, I think people just wanted to see this movie just to see what happens or like the visual.
Uh-huh.
There's been so many like mixed like reviews on it. Like it's just more of a visual kind of thing. But the
Yeah.
story is not. It's easy to guess what happens next, and it's not really pieced together. You know, there's some scenes that take like 30 minutes, and you forget about people over here, and then it goes back to them, and you're like, oh crap. Oh.
Well, it's like a time jump too, apparently. It's like a X amount of years in the future from the first movie, I think. Their budget was estimated to be $350 million. Their opening weekend in the US and Canada was $134 million. So they didn't even break even the opening weekend. Their gross of US and Canada was 483 million, and their worldwide gross was 1.5 billion, which is wild.
Crazy. I just like heard people talk or say on TikTok that like it's hard to explain like the movie. They're like, I watched the movie and I can't tell you what it was about, but it was beautiful. But I don't know how to tell you the movie.
I think that's a marketing tactic. I think
You
it's
think
literally,
so?
yeah, I think it's people who are paid to promote, because if you guys would want to dive into the spoilers that I know, like we could do that, but it without spoiling anything big, it seems like it's literally just kind of a rehashing of the first movie. Like as far as themes go, and as far as like there's like a few things because he has kids now,
Hmm.
so it's like they play into that, but like um as far as the movie goes, it's still them versus the humans.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
and it's the villain is the same. It's the same dude.
Oh, I
Like,
thought he died.
Yeah.
yeah,
Plot
it's
twist
yeah,
that
it's
it's alive.
just kind of stupid in my opinion. It seems like
Surprise.
it's like just an okay movie. But that's I think that's why people go to see those, is because they usually James Cameron wants to focus on something huge with it, and like with the first
Yeah.
one, it was like motion tracking, and like because that was all brand new, so it was very um of interest to like highly focus on that
Yeah, yeah.
as a thing and expand
Yeah.
that to its full potential. And now it's like, water simulation, and how good can they get water to look alongside, motion
Hmm.
capture. And they did a lot of like in the background, like filming wise, they did a lot of really cool things. They did a lot of like the underwater scenes they actually filmed underwater in mocap
Yeah, they did.
suits. Like they did a
Yeah, they
bunch of
had them in
really interesting things,
tanks.
but it's also really weird. Like, why should anyone have to learn to hold their breath for 6 minutes underwater to film a scene, and then you're not even the character on screen? Like, you're just gonna be, out, replaced by a CG body double.
Yep.
Crazy.
That
Mm-hmm.
is so wild. That's I don't know about the Avatar universe. Like it just weirds me out too much. Like and I've only seen the first movie, but that
Hmm.
whole thing where like they braid to communicate always freaks me out.
It's also weird that they braid with each other to like be intimate and have sex, right? But then they
Yeah.
braid with the horses to like also ride that. Like it's really weird. It's
How are you,
bizarre.
how are you trying to ride that horse, Mr. Avatar man?
Which I exactly. I kind of like
Sorry, that one like slowly hit you guys.
no. That's
Mikey.
and I get it as like a storytelling device. Like they're more in tune with the nature. It makes sense. But like, all it reminds me of now is, oh, you never mind. You guys haven't played Cyberpunk, huh?
Oh,
There's a scene. So this is minor Cyberpunk spoilers. There's a scene if you play a male character and you take the path of romancing Panam. There's a scene where you guys are in a basilisk, which is like essentially just like a tank, and you
yeah.
guys jack into it. It requires two pilots because if one pilot is in it, it'll like literally fry the brain of the driver. So it requires
Yeah,
one
yeah.
person to drive it while the other shoots, and you guys have sex in that while your brains are linked, so you guys can feel everything the other person feels. And that's how I expect the hair braid thing to kind of
Yeah.
act. But then when
The
you're doing it with
flip.
horses, it's a little bizarre.
I mean, that's a lot bizarre.
It's bestiality.
Yeah, it's super bizarre. It's really bizarre.
Like I'm one with nature. No, don't put that there. You don't need to be that one with nature.
This is the
Right.
universe you want to create, James? Is this it?
It is. I mean, he already is Avatar 3, which is
Three?
going to be about the fireplace, which I
Be ash people?
I want to guess what the
What will they braid their hair with this time? The magma.
uh man.
Gosh, people. Oh my gosh.
I'm just so confused as to why this movie has been revitalized in the aspect that it is now. Like,
Uh,
it's not like, hey, we're gonna take a stab at another movie. It's, hey, you guys are getting 5 more Avatar films. You excited about it? Like,
I didn't want the first
Yep.
one. What are you doing here?
yeah, what even happened in the first one? Can you guys name 2 characters from that movie or 1
Uh,
character?
isn't it like Jake Sully?
Damn, dude, you're on point.
That's one. That's one
Yeah,
name.
that's one.
And he's like, I'm from the Jarhead clan. And they're like, ooh, where's that? And he's like, Earth.
Is that actually a scene?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that
Like
movie
I'm
since it came out.
yeah, no, my parents were obsessed with Avatar. I think I've mentioned this before. So like I think like every weekend my dad would turn it on and be like, we're watching a movie. And I'd be like, not this one again, please. Like that was like a year of my life and I hated it.
Huh. Forced family movies, huh?
Yep.
Movie.
That's an interesting
Ugh.
And my family likes to talk during movies, so it's never fun. Like,
No, I don't think that time is ever fun. I all throughout high school they'd like to do that too. Hey, get downstairs, we're watching a movie. Just want to play Xbox, but like, okay, sure,
I think
whatever.
what would drive me nuts about that is no matter how many times we've seen this movie, my mom would be like, what's happening? The same damn thing that happened last week.
uh, uh, no, I lived with my dad's wife and my dad, and they like
Yeah.
to watch. They would always be like, "Come downstairs, we're watching a movie. We're gonna watch God's Not Dead. We're gonna watch whatever other shitty Christian movie."
I can only imagine.
Yeah, and they were like, what's there? She's always crying at the end of it.
Bro.
Oh my god. It's a very poor
My
movie, but okay.
my, my roommates, um, like back in the day, they all wanted to do like a weekly movie night. There's like a trend in my life where someone wants to do a weekly movie night. And so they decided like we're gonna watch Passion of the Christ. And one of the girls was like, "This movie just makes me cry every time, like, and I just weep." And she's talking about it being like this beautiful emotional experience. And I finally watched it, and like I never wanted to watch it because I'm like, I don't want to watch a movie of Jesus dying, like, because apparently, like at that time, like before I watched it, it's like apparently it's like really accurate. And
Yeah.
so when we watched it, all the girls were crying except for me, and I'm like, I get it, I get it. But you made it sound like this emotional experience. Like, he
I'm
did
trying to
this
think
for
of
us.
who your who your roommates were.
I've had many. Um,
Holy crap.
I will say this girl was a very gentle person compared to all the other roommates I've had in my life.
Hmm.
It's so
That's funny. That's
I just
I've never seen Passion of the Christ. I remember
no,
it
it's
being a
not.
big deal when it came out, and I don't even remember 2004. Yeah, so it came out a while ago, and I remember it being a big deal. Like I remember my mom talking about it and being
Yeah,
like, it's one of like it's an extremely bloody, like very disturbing movie. Nothing about it
it's
being like emotionally like impactful as far as like from a Christian standpoint. Although my mom's never been a Christian, so
yeah, it's a brutal movie. Like I'm gonna be honest. Like you watch Jesus
yeah,
get whipped for real.
It's I mean it's pretty good, but honestly it's
pretty sure I've
I
seen
think just
worse.
as a bonding experience, 10 out of 10, I would never watch that movie again.
Okay.
Showing
I
that
would
out
never
there.
watch it with people. Like, because especially with the people who really get
Who would have?
emotional or anything like that, like it's just I'm like, it, it, I don't know if it for me it takes away from the movie, especially like any movie when someone's just like too like emotionally attached in some way, or they talk so much and everything like that. I'm like, this I'm trying to enjoy this.
Yeah.
And you're asking questions, you're crying or saying this, and then just like can't really be immersed in that way. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like being immersed in my movie to where I forget that I exist and I'm just watching these people exist, you know? Like I want to
Yeah.
be immersed like that, you know? So I get annoyed when someone's like sitting next to me and they're like, "Did you see that?" Yes, I did. And my eyes are wide open and you've just broken the like
The immersion
the dis
entirely. Yeah.
yeah, like why are you talking to me?
That's so funny. I was trying to look up other Christian movies. And so mind you, I type in Christian movie. There's a what to watch on Google. It's sorted by movies, and then Christianity is the other tags. Let me read some
Okay.
of these titles for you guys to see if
All right, let's go.
they sound like Christian movies, okay? Redeeming
All
Love,
right. Okay.
An Interview with God,
Okay.
Overcomer, The Case for Christ,
Okay.
Batman Begins,
What?
Terminator Salvation, The Young Messiah, I Still Believe, The Shack,
Okay.
Hacksaw Ridge, The Dark Knight Rises.
What? You are lying to me right now.
No, no, this is all on this list. Exodus, Gods and Kings, which this sounds debatable to me. Samson, The Passion of the
Okay.
Christ, God's Not Dead. The Girl Who Believes in Miracles, The Blind Side.
Oh.
Let me preface this one. It's under a different subgenre of Christianity friendship movies. 50 Shades of Grey. Right, smashed right in between The Blind Side and Soul Surfer.
Uh-uh.
I don't understand this list at all, dude.
This is the timeline that we have gotten because Harambe died. I want you guys to know this.
100%. This list is wild. It just like you think it is. It's like a little more sane with faith-based Christianity movies. Heaven is Real, Is for Real, Broken Road, God's Not Dead 2, Unbroken, Woodlawn, The Shack, Faith
God's
and
Not Dead
Potatoes.
2. There's a second
There's
one.
4 of them, isn't there?
There's one where they're at the White House. I'll have you know.
There's a what?
There's a God's Not Dead, like at the White House. I can't remember what it's called, but it's like Let Freedom Ring or something.
There's 5 of them. The first one was not that good. The first one was very bad.
I hated when the first one came out because in the movie, and I only know this because I was a victim of it, and not because I watched the movie.
Uh-huh.
But in the movie, at some point, they're like, "Oh, everybody, take out your phones and text someone that you know and all your contacts that God's not dead."
They go they say, because I've seen that movie multiple times because of what we talked about previously. But yeah, they go at the very end of the movie, it's like a Christian concert and they're all like on stage and they're like, if you believe in God and you love Jesus Christ, then take out your phone right now. And they break the fourth wall. They're like, even you watching the movie, take your phone out and text all your friends. # God's Not Dead.
Let me tell you, I blocked every single person who did that to me. And I just pretend I don't know why their numbers don't go through.
Yeah, there's a God's Not Dead 2. There's a God's Not Dead 3. There's a God's Not Dead, A Light in Darkness, and there's a God's Not Dead, We the People.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, which I can't tell you how badly I want to watch God's Not Dead, We the People.
Okay, low-key, I do too. I can't wait for God's Not Dead, Don't Tread on Me to come out, but
God's Not Dead, This Is My Flag, and it's the
man.
I can't.
Oh, Mikey, you're muted.
You are muted.
Look, as I was saying, just go on Facebook, and God's Not Dead, We the People is on there. Like,
Is it really?
The whole movie is on there?
I've seen clips of it, like
Oh,
people posting it on there.
okay. So
Basically, the whole movie.
if you collect all the clips, like the Infinity Stones, you can get the whole movie.
There you go.
Pretty much, or the important parts, which is
I'm pretty sure we
mostly
could
the
just
whole movie.
watch the trailer and know exactly what happens.
Man, but that's one conversation that I feel more and more people are starting to have with these kind of like Christian directors. These movies suck. They're dog water,
Yeah.
Oh
garbage.
yeah.
They're the reason why people don't watch them. They're not at the caliber of all these other movies. I would watch Avatar, both movies, for an entire year before I watch any of those Christian movies.
Yeah, I agree.
Like I understand it's someone's testimony. I get it's a heartwarming kind of story, but just the way that they direct and go about it's like this hurts to watch.
It's very
It's
cheesy evangelism.
It's
It works,
very
but it's
it,
not my jam.
the only their target audience and the only reason they make money is hardcore like faith followers. The
That's
people
true.
who are going to church not once, not twice, but 3 times a week, who are
Yes.
up on at the stage, holding their arms out, with their eyes closed. The people who are like, "Oh, you should do that because God told me that's a good idea," or like, "I'm doing this lifestyle change because God told me it's a good lifestyle
Right.
change,"
Or the
or
people who are like crying in their bathroom at 3 in the morning because they needed to do this so God will hear their cries, you know?
yeah, the people who are crying for 5 days straight because they cheated and their husband left them. That's very targeted.
I'm so sorry.
I also saw that fly.
I
I
saw it
know
too.
it's
I was expecting you to catch it on camera. I was expecting you to be like,
not in my hood.
But you're talking to a guy whose family has been serving in ministry for so long, but none of us have wanted nor seen most of these movies. I think the last like Christian movie I would say that we all watched together that we remotely enjoyed
Yeah.
because of like the comedic aspect of it was the Left Behind movies series or whatever. Not the one with Nicolas Cage, like
Okay,
the older
okay.
ones.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was weird because I was really young at the time, and so
Mhm.
it was kind of scary, but also it was funny. Like now that like the older that I got, I watched it. And I'm like, this is hilarious. But
Yeah.
these the movies now they're no.
So sorry. No, first of all, I want to point
there are
out that like
3 of them.
like Mikey, you and your family are the most reasonable Christians I've ever met. Um, in the way of like, I don't get the sense that you guys are trying to indoctrinate me when I talk to you,
There you go.
like all of you, you know. And it's like I feel like your mom, your sister, like just totally normal people. But then there's this other facet of Christians where I'm like, I feel like when I talk to you, you're trying to get me to convince myself that I'm sinning,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
100%.
And those are the ones I stay away from.
Yeah.
And yeah, it yeah. In this day and age, that's dangerous in itself. Yeah,
I know.
that's
This
that's
isn't
that's a
about
different topic.
Christians, but it is,
Yeah.
you're right. But I
we
just
were
wanted to
we were
point
talking
that out.
about Avatar.
We've gotten on the divisive topic now.
Listen, I've already said my piece, my hot piece. I don't think we need to get any more controversial.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, you're the one in hot water, not
I
us.
am. It's me versus the Make-A-Wish kids. It's terrible.
You just call it Make a Wish. Hey, yo, if any of your kids ever, if their wish is like to, I don't know, like a fight to the death, like just put me on that list. I would love a chance.
All I need to do is survive.
Which I have a higher chance at this moment.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, we gotta go. We gotta move on. We gotta move
Oh
on.
yeah.
Oh man,
Crap.
this is my
Well,
legacy.
5 years from now, it's gonna get canceled. Right? You're just joking about this, like, bro, come on.
yeah. You know, no, in 5 years, hopefully we just solve cancer and no one ever has to die from it again. So,
I like that one.
yeah. You know,
I actually saw and read about. I think I don't know if they were Korean or I think Japanese doctor, um, or a group of doctors that have been able to not only neutralize like certain like cancer cells,
mhm.
but like to reverse it. So
That's
the
cool.
treatment, um, the treatment is like progressed, but I don't know like all of the
The
the facts about it.
technicality, yeah.
Yeah,
Huh,
which is good. It's fascinating.
that's super cool.
I mean, it's not like a cure, but it's something that will help with um to like radiation, everything like that. Like it's more of like a safer thing.
Yeah,
Something
Awesome.
that you catch early. Yada yada yada. Like that.
yeah.
It's good. I mean,
Yeah, that's awesome. That's like what was the other scientific breakthrough that just happened? The particle accelerator, right? Is that what it was? The you guys know what I'm talking about?
oh,
The
No.
what do you call
it's
that?
the fusion reactor, right?
Oh, that's
Nuclear
cool.
fusion. So for the first time we well, not me personally, but scientists were able to create a nuclear fusion, and they were essentially able to get more energy out of it than they were putting into it
Oh, that's cool.
to create it, which is like absolutely an insane thing. It was like very, very short time, and it's like this crazy elaborate setup where they have 192 lasers that like are able to do this. They basically blast them at, let's see what it says. It says blast a small cylinder about the size of a pencil eraser that contained a frozen nubbin of a hydrogen encased in diamond. The laser beams entered at the top and the bottom of the cylinder, vaporizing it. That generated an inward onslaught of X-rays that compressed to a BB-sized fuel pellet of deuterium and tritium, and the heavier form of hydrogen. In the brief moment lasting less than 100 trillionth of a second, 2.05 megajoules of energy, roughly the equivalent of a pound of TNT, bombarded the hydrogen pellet. Outflowed a flood of neutron particles, the production of fusion, which carried about 3 megajoules of energy, a factor of 1.5 in energy gain. So they were able to
Wow.
essentially make that, and if they can create a fusion reactor that is essentially unlimited, clean, free energy, like has no like runoff. It's not like nuclear energy where you get all this waste. It would be essentially that we'd have unlimited energy.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it would be crazy. It's a crazy, crazy breakthrough, and obviously we're like super far out from it being, probably not in our lifetimes will we see a
Maybe our kids'
fusion
kids. Yeah.
reactor, but yeah, be awesome.
That
That would be
sucks.
super cool. That sucks.
Super cool thing that I don't get to see.
I know, but who knows?
That's the
The
one thing
technology
that
is advancing at such a
freaking
rate.
yeah. I mean, it's like fascinating, but I think that's kind of like one of the upsetting things about life is that you think about, oh snap, people who were born in like the 1920s, like they're not seeing all the crazy stuff that you can do now,
Mhm.
or and then you think about it, you're like, oh snap, I like the idea of like virtual, like in world kind of like gaming.
Yeah.
Oh, you're telling me I'm gonna die before that actually comes out?
Yeah.
I'm pissed.
I would
Yeah.
love to be in a virtual world. Like, I want to be
It's
like virtual world, like all the way. I want my senses. I don't want to just get like vertigo when I'm playing up the Oculus, you know?
Yeah. After having gotten a VR headset, I can say that it's fun. It is a little gimmicky, but like personally, I cannot use it for a long period of time. I get very, very like motion sick from using
Yeah.
it. Not really motion sick. I think it's like the way the headset goes because like I have a Oculus, not Oculus, the Meta Quest 2 is what it's called
Yeah.
now. And you
Mm.
don't need to connect a computer to it because it runs all of it from the headset. So it's all wireless,
Yeah.
which is
Nice.
great. You think, oh yeah, that's awesome. But it's so heavy that it like you have to strap it really tight and it pushes like on your face really hard.
Ugh.
Mm.
And I have like a more comfortable strap, which is nice, but like I got to get one of those ones that like it has a bar that goes above your head to distribute the weight
Mm.
differently. Like I have one that goes down the middle, but it's like it's weird. It's definitely better
Mm.
than the stock one. When we got it, I used the stock one, and I literally like I put probably an hour, and I was like having to take it off to lay down because I
Ugh.
couldn't do it. It was very bad.
That's crazy. All right. I think we're like at an hour and some
We
change.
are. We're exactly over an hour right now.
Oh,
I was
perfect.
gonna say,
Holy crap!
which is great because we did get to literally none of the topics that we were going to talk about anyway,
I know.
which is
So true.
fine. We're
Yeah.
back. This is kind of our comeback New Year's stream, our New Year's podcast. I'm happy that we're back. We're
Me too.
obviously trying to get more of a schedule with Savannah being in France. You're like 9 hours ahead of us now, which
Yeah.
is which is
It's Sunday for me right now. So,
yeah. How is the future? We're still alive, right?
so far so good.
That's good. Good to know.
Yeah.
Got a couple
Oh,
more good hours.
pretty dark outside, so I'll
Okay.
let you know if the
I can
sun
look forward to
rises.
that. I mean, yeah, sun just never comes up again.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Dang.
But
that's how we're
I
gonna
wouldn't
live.
mind.
All right. Well,
right. Yeah. Well, on that note,
Anyways, thanks for joining us this week. I'm your host, Savvy.
I am Zach.
and I'm the Zorby, aka Byron Zora. Thank you guys, and we'll catch y'all next time.
Peace.
Deuces.
Peace.